Las Vegas, my kids and I got into the club. I tried $2 an hour. Came to Las Vegas, my kids and I got into the club. I tried, and
it does cost a lot.
98 is more than I can make at a regular job. So we're going to see housekeeping, and I kept making what she could make within an hour in a day that I could make it. So $2 women on it that say, we can be there in less than 20 minutes and all that. But I came to, I tried to 5 months and I tried. It is more than I can make at a regular job. So I could see housekeeping, and I kept seeing the cards with the naked women on it that say, we can be there in less than 20 minutes and all that. And every day I was ready.
Does your family know?
They think I do. My mom, I just tell her that I do something she wouldn't approve of, and I'd rather not tell her.
Probably.
I don't. Right. My sister thinks I do strippergrams, like,
showing up at birthday
party
parties
dances and stuff like that. I think my mother has an idea. She just doesn't. I just don't know.
Deanna seems real happy. Your situation really is so dire that you end up really emotionally wrecked because of it. I understand
come home,
you're crying every night.
Yeah. And I deal with my kids not wanting me to pick them up from school away from dress.
But so, if you know that's the case, if it upsets you, and you know it's also your choice to do it, how about let's start talking about you making different choices?
I've tried so many different options. I've tried going back to school. I won't be on welfare. I just won't do it. I mean, I've been kicked out of apartments because I have to lie about how many kids I have because I can never afford more than a 2-bedroom apartment on a regular job. If I was making $30 an hour, well, yeah, I would do a 9 to 5 easy.
We got some possible solutions for you later in the show, but first we were talking about your family, and I know you said your sister kind of thinks you do strippergram things. I don't know if it's because of this or because of something else. You guys haven't seen each other in like 2 years, and so I want you to see your sister again, and I want her to tell us how she feels about what she now knows. Please welcome your sister, Rhonda, to the show.
Hi, Rhonda. Thanks for coming.
No, it's not hard finding this out. I know that's not easy. I mean, finding this out is hard for you. What do you want to say to your sister?
I want you. You told me you wanted to make it. This is not naked. You have not made it. You will have 4 beautiful children. Honey. A role model. You can do that. I know you can.
I haven't heard anybody speak about a health issue. The health issue is dealing with you guys.
You bring up good points. A lot of people don't get tested on the streets. They don't. All these girls run in the track, work in the streets and stuff. They don't get tested.
That's not true. I just...
Okay, but I'm just saying, you know how it is. If you don't have to get tested, most people aren't going to.
There are women that I'm sure run the traps and don't get tested, but I know I do. And everybody who I know gets tested is very clean, and we're all... I mean, a lot of times we're just taking the money and running. We're not even staying in the room,
That's wrong.
Which is what probably makes you so afraid. Because then that's robbery and people will come.
Right. You're just coming
But
down.
at the same time, when you're in there, you're just feeling like it's that, or you're going to be doing something that you just don't want to do.
Yeah. Because there are expectations that you can't do. We got to take another little break and make it some audience numbers. But I got a question. Is it different in mom's money for adults doing different at home while the kids are there as opposed to leaving the house? Yeah, we're going to meet a woman who is doing adult entertainment in her own home, making money with her kids, right extra. She's coming up after the break. Deanna obviously has no problem at all defending herself and her choices.
I don't care if you just paid $5,000, you're still a prostitute.
I am. And I like what I do. I like sex.
I'm just wondering,
Come out
because there are what? He's a young boy.
I like him young. I like that.
City High uses their music to address a serious issue.
special edition video and DVD and win a trip to talk to the animals at the San Diego Zoo. It's the furriest and funniest adventure ever. Go to drdolittle2dvd.com for details.
If you're planning to be in the New York area, we'd love to have you be a part of our studio audience, given that you want to talk. For tickets, call 212-817-5550.
Let's get this party started.
New on video and DVD. Eddie Murphy comes home. This is good news in the wildest comedy of the year.
And Clarice.
Dr. Dolittle 2. Find it on video and DVD today.
Who's that for?
Dry skin is a nasty little problem, but extra dry skin, now that's a big problem. Fortunately, there's advanced therapy from Lubriderm with special nutrients and vitamins. Advanced therapy. Later, Gator.
Crystal Air Freshener from Wizard, the only air freshener with a concentrated fragrance gel in a beautiful glass disc that refreshes your home for up to 4 weeks. And new Wizard Crystal Air comes in a range of scents, like Peach Sensation, Lavender Fields, and White Bouquet. Wizard, fragrances that change your world.
Robert? Robert!
Claw's got you bent out of shape. Get Drano Max. Drano Max is thicker than professional strength liquid plumber. So it's thick, fog better. So you don't get bent out of shape. Relax. You've got Drano Max. F.C. Johnson.
Hello, is that Robert? What's up? I'm thinking about entering a personal debt. I know all this is
Some of them be good.
handsome, 30-ish. 30-ish means 42.
But for long-distance calls, the timeless plan from Verizon has simple answers to help you live your way.
Spontaneous. Oh, that means you're crazy.
Call 1-866-525-7800 now. Get low flat rate of just 10 cents a minute on domestic direct dial calls from home with no monthly plan fees.
Enjoying long walks. That means it's fun in the shop.
It's so convenient. Deal with one source, plus get local and long distance on one bill at no extra cost. No hidden charges, no surprises.
And I'll let you know how it is. Thank you.
Call 1-866-525-7800 now for the timeless plan.
So, Miss Single and looking is no longer single or looking.
Verizon.
If you'd like more information, log on to our website at www.theanonblueshow.com. That's the song we're bringing to life today. City High Pitch song, What Would You Do? It's about single moms who work in the sector for their kids. And our next guest is an adult business support her 5 kids. The youngest of whom is only 4.5 months. And she has no problem doing her business from home with the kids in the next year. What does she do? Listen to what she does, y'all. Listen. Hey, big boy.
I'm just thinking of like Pamela Anderson, and I can have you up against me. Wouldn't you want to be here with me right now?
There it is. She does phone sex. I guess y'all figured that one out. Please welcome Dawn. Hi, Dawn. How are you? Hi. Did you hear some similarities in the story? Absolutely. In terms of the necessity to do what you need to do to support your kids?
When you have children, there is no way you cannot have enough money. So, who can with 5 children afford a babysitter, 9-to-5 job? Your boss doesn't want to hear, I can't make it in, the car don't work, the babysitter got a doctor's appointment. They're not into that. What you really have to do is, you have to survive, and phone sex is a way to survive. I'm in my house. My kids need to go to Girl Scouts, my kids need to go to the doctor. I can call up, turn off the phone service and say, look, I can't be here right now. They don't tell me, no, you can't do that. I do with my kids, they need help with the homework, I'm right there. If I have to do my business, I say, okay, my children take an answering service for a doctor's office. I walk in and I say, Mommy's got to go inside. I make a phone call. I go into my bathroom, in my bedroom. They hear absolutely nothing. And I make $34.50 an hour. So I'm home all day long. You tell me where you're going to make $34.50 an hour and be able to change your kid's diaper and raise the child that you gave birth to and not live off the system.
I did have the answers, and then you wouldn't have to do what you do. I got another question out here.
This is to Jade. It's more like a comment. I know exactly where you're at this point because I am a single mother of 3 kids, and it gets to a point where you don't know what to do anymore. And anybody could comment towards it, but they have to actually live it to know what we're going through. I've tried everything, and I haven't gotten that way. But I know exactly where you're coming from.
Well, I have a comment about that because a lot of people say, I wish I had enough money so I could buy this boat, or I wish I had enough money so I could do this. There are days when I wish I had enough money to go get toilet paper when I need it, to go get milk when I need it.
I have
You're talking about necessity.
during break, a beautiful young lady in the audience asked me, she's like, you need to get a real job, and, this is a real job. It may not be a real job for everybody, to accept, but it is a real job. It's just a stepping stone for me. I have goals. $5,000 a week, I make the minimum $5,000. That's the minimum I make where I work. And, 5 years. 5 years, I'm going to be out of this business, so I'm done. I have goals set.
Really?
And that's the minimum. So,
No.
but yeah, beautiful young lady in the audience made a good point. She goes, get a good job. Well, I do have one. It may not be for you. It may not be for you. But for me, right now, I'm able to be with my son. And that's the most important thing, to be with my son. He's everything. He's everything.
For the ones who have more than one kid, why are you going to continue spreading your legs open if you know you can't afford them?
Sex from my house where I do, where my body isn't violated, and I'm teaching my children, you know what? I'm still making money. I'm keeping another man satisfied who's requesting me. I'm keeping his marriage absolutely happy.
Maybe that's more than your marriage. Maybe they don't get paid for it.
Just like the song says, don't judge. We're under
My children came from an 8-year marriage, so it's not like I just went out and had everybody kids. All my kids have the same
You
father.
live in a glass house, you don't throw stones. Who's to judge what the next person does in life? If you're comfortable with what you do, that's what it's about.
My comment is to Deanna. You say you have a college education. Why don't you use that wisely and get at least 2 jobs? And also, I don't care if you get paid $5,000, and I think everyone is gonna agree with me, but you're still a prostitute. You're
I
getting
am.
paid for
I'm a
sex.
glorified,
It's still prostitution.
I am. And I like what I do. I like what I do.
It's
There's
not-
nothing wrong. I like sex. Everybody in the audience must like sex.
With college education,
Because it doesn't pay me to raise my son. I've managed retail stores. I was a manager at 2 different retail stores.
That continues to be the point for all the women. They can't make enough money in another job to provide for their kids and support them in the way that they want to support them. And I'm just wondering, because there are organizations out there that, and I guess you said you tried some of them and you don't qualify. What?
I don't think you can visit me.
He's a young boy.
I like him. Yeah. I like that.
I gotta go to a break. We're gonna try to find some solutions for these women, including where they can get some of the basics that they've been saying they need. Come right back. We'll get you. Next.
I have dealt with gentlemen that call in reference to they want a scenario of a rape scene of where they are raping an 11-year-old and you have to beg them what not to do. And now my theory is that is sick. That's a pedophile. But you know what? I'd rather talk this man through this than him touch this child.
In what movie did a single mother dance topless to make enough money to regain custody of her daughter? Was it A, Showgirls, B, Striptease, or C, Flashdance? The answer is coming up in a minute. All November, we're bringing the energy back to Dayton. We brought our guests all the way down to the beautiful Jamaica to give them a second chance at love.
I think she had more fun with me. Can't dance, he eats too much.
They got to date and party, and you'll never guess who they chose on the next Sonata.
The Pittsburgh shooting spree suspect Bloomfield continues the story tonight.
in the face of annihilation.
300,000 workers have simply been murdered.
These were innocent people. They chose to fight back.
We will fight our enemy now!
Based on the true story of the young freedom fighters who took on the enemy and lived.
We want you to go undercover to smuggle weapons into the ghetto.
NBC proudly presents an all-star cast
Make me proud.
in a powerful piece of history that's never been told. Uprising, NBC Sunday at 9 Central.
Babies deserve a fighting chance of life. That's why McGee Women's Hospital is launching a project of enormous magnitude. Each year, McGee's neonatal intensive care unit helps over 1,000 premature infants survive. And although the technology is state-of-the-art, the neonatal unit has become too small. Help support this vital renovation project.
Brought to you by Turner Construction Company, celebrating the century of excellence and building the future of Pittsburgh. A proud sponsor of McGee's project of enormous magnitude. Mutual funds, 401ks, stock options, investments. Get the strategies you need to manage your money with success.
401k plan is the very best investment that there is.
The associates of D.B. Root & Company provide expertise and personalized advice. Sundays on WPXI.
What we're experiencing right now in the market is normal business cycle.
Watch Financial Planning with D.B. Root & Company. Sunday morning at 11:30 on WPXI TV.
When I'm planning a big event, I start with Pittsburgh.com. Pittsburgh.com makes it easy to find what I need in just a few clicks. I don't have time to waste. So whether I'm in Southside or Mount Washington, I turn to Pittsburgh.com when I need to find it fast. So if I've got red flowers and I want yellow ones, I can find a nearby florist. Or find a great chef for one of the Strip's hottest new restaurants. Even hire some extra waiters. It makes the difference between another event and a memory.
Are you the mom of a biracial baby that your family absolutely will not accept and it is tearing you up? I want to talk to you. Give me a call, 1-866-ANONDA-3. So, in what movie did a single mother dance topless to make enough money to regain custody of her daughter? You've been thinking? Here are your choices. Showgirls, Striptease, or Flashdance. The answer? Demi Moore in Striptease. You guys see that? Almost 8 million single mothers right now raising their kids on their own. My mom was one of them, and I gotta tell you guys, she worked 2 and 3 jobs, and I'm happy that she provided how she did for us, and at the same time, now that I'm grown, I look back and there were so many moments my mother missed out of my life because she wasn't home. So I'm kind of torn in between. I don't know how I would feel as an adult now had she done something like what you do, but I know how I feel not having had her around as much as I wanted her around. I'm kind of stuck in the middle. Maybe my next guest can help all of us. I want to first introduce you to Dr. Sherry Carter Scott. She is a lifestyle expert and best-selling author of a book called If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules. Welcome to the show, Dr. Relate to a lot of the reasons why our guests say that they're in these fields. You were abandoned by your husband, weren't you?
Absolutely. I came home one day with my 18-month-old little girl on my hip, and I walked to the front door and I called out his name. John, are you there? I called. Nobody, no answer came. So I walked through the house and I looked everywhere, and I found a note, and it said, "I've gone, and I'm not coming back."
That's all you got, a note?
I had $400 in my checking account. The mortgage was due. There were 3 months in arrears. They were about to foreclose on my house, my water shut off, my electricity, my phone, everything. I was freaking out, and my best friend Barbara looked at me and she said, "Knock it off. You don't have the luxury when you're going crazy right now. You've got to think of that 18-month-old baby in front of you."
I'm sure you were faced with the same kind of option.
I understand exactly how they feel because it's a terrible feeling being responsible for that life. And you're the only person who can do it. And it's really a juggling match because you want to be there with your kid. You need to support them. And there's nobody else when your husband walks out on you.
Where my children have eaten tomato sandwiches from the
garden that we've grown, and dish towels as diapers because the money isn't there. Now, I'm supposed to go and just hook on to welfare when there is a position I can do at home and raise the children that I gave birth to. I didn't give birth for these to be raised by anybody else. It's not that way. My children were from a marriage. 4 of them were from a 12-year marriage. One is the most recent is from my boyfriend. Who's to say he's not going to be there tomorrow morning? Those children need to depend on me, and I have to teach them the right way. The 11-year-old.
She makes a good point. You know, it's good to have a man in your life. You know, we're not saying, but why depend on somebody else?
You can't depend on a man.
Like she said, the doctor said, he left her, and then what? You're stuck. At least I'm independent enough where I will have my own.
The question
I'm
I want
doing
to ask.
better for myself.
The question I want to ask: is there any other alternative that could give you the satisfaction? Because you said you have goals, and that this is a stepping stone to future things.
Exactly.
There's something else you want in your life, that this is an interim thing. Jade, you're the one I'm the most concerned about because you look like this is not a choice for you. And if you can focus on what skills you want to develop, what competencies you want to build at this time in your life so that you can move on to something else that's going to be better, healthier, and give you more money than you have right now. I think that's what we want to plan for.
And also, doctor, to give them something that you can't put a price on, which is your self-worth.
Absolutely.
There's no price.
On the telephone, they call for fantasy, okay? I have dealt with gentlemen that call in reference to they want a scenario of a rape scene of where they are raping an 11-year-old and you have to beg them what not to do. And now, my theory is that is sick, that's a pedophile, but you know what? I'd rather go on my children. And it is sick, but I have to take that phone call, but you know what? I may be saving that 11, 10-year-old child that's going to get raped because this is his fantasy.
How about calling the cops on him, Don, and then you say
Because he's
at
pulling up the
yourself?
confidence to get out of fantasy that he needs to relieve. Okay, so if you find you need to get that satisfaction from that fantasy, okay, come to me. I will talk you through anything you want to hear, honey. Because you know what? Do not touch that child. Because that could be my 11-year-old.
Speaking of your 11-year-old, you say that you would train her how to do this.
Let me tell you what. Okay, you're all going to say I'm terrible. No, wait, listen to me. I'm teaching my 11-year-old. Okay, I'm not discriminating. But my 11-year-old, I'm teaching her that a man does not have to violate your body to you make money. Okay? I do this on the telephone.
No, she didn't violate. I'm not being violated.
But
I
I'm
like what I'm doing.
because
I'm
no
not
matter
being
what,
violated.
at 12 years old, there are young girls having
sex.
They're out there having sex.
I like it.
Woo! I didn't pay for it on the phone.
Doctor, we're going to get back to you for a minute, but I want to get this comment in.
I'm just going to say this really quickly to Dawn most specifically and to Deanna because I was a teen mother, married 7 years, and left with 2 boys. The options for me were either you can get into like a similar situation like Jade into an escort service. It's very easy. It's out there. You're destroyed. But you know what? I couldn't look in the mirror. My sons now are 19 and 20, and you know what? They have nothing to regret. I can look in that mirror, and I'm very proud of myself. My self-esteem is very high.
Would you rather me sit home and collect your tax dollars and you support me and my children?
That's what I said earlier. We have a problem with that, and we also have a problem with this. That's fine.
You know what is scary to me? Where I'm from Central America, and we're not offered the option of welfare. You have to work. You have these kids. That's your responsibility.
But I didn't plan on my marriage ending. See, I didn't support him. I thought we were going to be there forever. He's not there forever because nothing is forever.